Ursula Burns was born September 20th, 1958, in New York, New York. Her and her two siblings were raised by a single mother named Olga Burns. Her mother operated an in home daycare and worked cleaning jobs to pay for a Roman Catholic preparatory school where Burns excelled in math. Her grades earned her many scholarships. Despite all odds against her, she thrived. After high school, she went on to attend Columbia University.
After receiving a bachelor's degree in both Columbia University and in mechanical engineering from Polytechnic Institute of NYU in 1981, she joined Xerox, a corporation that sells print and digital document products and services as a full-time employee. From 1992, she progressed through various roles in management and engineering in the year 2000. She became Senior Vice President of Corporate Strategic Services. The role broadened her leadership in the areas of global research, product development, marketing, and delivery, and was later named president of Xerox in 2007. And in 2 years, she was named CEO, which later led on to becoming chairman of the board in 2010.
Ursula Burns served as CEO of Xerox from 2009 to 2016 and as the CEO of Vion from 2018 to 2020. Vion is the ninth largest mobile network operator in the world and is a very successful international business. Vion provides essential communications and digital services to 214 million customers in 10 of the world's most dynamic countries. In fact, more than half of the company's revenue comes from Russia. They predominantly operate their services in the regions of Asia, Africa, and Europe. Vion's international leadership team consists of experienced executives from around the world.
Xerox is a sole proprietorship, which is the most basic form of ownership where there is one sole owner who is responsible for the business. It is not a legal entity that separates the owner from the business, meaning that the owner is responsible for all of the debts and obligations of the business on a personal level. Vion's form of company, on the other hand, is an LTD, which means limited company. Private limited companies are owned by individual people, trusts, associations, and/or companies. The owners of a company limited by shares are known as shareholders because they each own at least one share in the company. As the first African American woman to lead an S&P 500 company and the second woman CEO in the history of Xerox, Ursula Burns is as tough as they come. Ursula truly started to get noticed in Xerox after a showdown she had with Waylon Hicks, the executive VP of Xerox at the time. During a meeting, someone raised and pointed out the question of why Xerox was so invested in its diversity program. Hicks' response, Ursula thought, was lacking in passion, and she made no bones about telling him that, publicly during the meeting. The conversation got unpleasant, but Ursula refused to back down. Ursula has always favored speaking up, being authentic, and voicing opinions. A good quote from her is, "On average, it's better to open your mouth than to keep your mouth shut." That I'm totally convinced of. Second thing, on average, people are waiting for somebody to open their mouth, and if all it does is catalyze for other people to open their mouth, then that's good.
As of February 2020, Ursula Burns has an estimated net worth of $1.31 billion. She has worked for companies like Xerox, Nestle, and Vion, but acquired a majority of her wealth through the trading of Exxon stocks. Over the last 17 years, Ms. Burns has sold approximately $1.33 billion in ExxonMobil shares and currently holds 262,000 more ExxonMobil shares valued at an estimated $13 million. In addition to holding ExxonMobil stocks, she also holds 130,000 Uber shares for serving on Uber's board, as well as collected $382,000 from Nestle in compensation for being a non-executive independent director in 2019.
Xerox has been recognized by the Ethisphere Institute, a global leader in defining and advancing the standards of ethical business practices, as one of the 2018's world's most ethical companies. Xerox has been recognized every year since 2006 and is one of only two honoraries in the information technology services industry, underscoring their commitment to leading with integrity and prioritizing ethical business practices. Apart from her personal involvement with the community and government towards social good, Ursula has also been responsible for carrying forward Xerox's legacy of sound corporate citizenship, and she takes this job very seriously. A quote from her in a recent interview is, "I certainly spend a lot of time and dedicate a fair share of resources to understanding the greater good our company is doing for our society. And I do business with my heart as much as I do with my head. both personally and professionally. Frankly, those companies that dismiss citizenship as a necessary evil don't get my time, attention, or business unless they're looking to benchmark us as an example of decades-long, values-based leadership. I'm less concerned about whether being a good corporate citizen burnishes our company's reputation. That's just an added benefit. I believe it's a responsibility, and there is no negotiating on responsibilities.
Ursula Burns had shown how effective she is as a leader when she was in the Xerox company. She encouraged new ways of thinking within the company, and her dependability was able to grant her important positions in our nation. She implemented the idea of acting like a family during meetings, to be kind and civil, but also honest, to take initiative, and to be fearless. This derives from her own way of functioning in the workplace, as she wasn't shy to speak her mind, even when she spoke up against her superiors about company issues back when she was an executive assistant. She was such a valued and respected leader that President Barack Obama trusted and appointed her to be on the President's Council on Jobs and Competitiveness in 2015 and his Export Council in 2016. Burns was able to show how good of a leader she is throughout her career, and so overall, I would like her to be my CEO if I were to start my own company.